Coming up in this edition of the 2018 FIFA World Cup Magazine, we unveil the official mascot. We profile Ekaterinburg's #1 futsal team. And we sit down with FC Ural star striker Roman Pavlyuchenko. On the 21st of October, the official mascot for the 2018 FIFA World Cup was unveiled in Moscow. Over 1 million votes were cast over the course of a month to decide between the final 3 designs: cat, tiger or wolf. Hosting the unveiling was the popular evening Urgant show, featuring musical performances and a number of special guests, including 2-time FIFA World Cup winner Ronaldo. Winning with 52.8% of the vote, the wolf was given the name Zabivaka, meaning the one who scores.
I am completely overwhelmed with emotion. It's difficult to express in words. I just can't stop talking about it and how happy I am with how it's turned out. When I first saw the list of characters we could choose from, I had no doubt about the wolf and kept drawing and drawing until I got it right. The wolf is a frequent character in Russian fairy tales, but it's mainly depicted as a negative character. Our mascot is no such thing. He is the complete opposite, wonderfully kind and affectionate. I think the fact that over half the people who voted chose the wolf means that he will also be loved by everyone across the world.
Zabivaka will make his tournament debut at next year's FIFA Confederations Cup, another important step in Russia's preparations for 2018.
Tonight is just a start, and you can see the excitement building now ahead of 2018. People are already really involved with the World Cup. I'm also really happy with the result, and I think the people can be happy too. Going forward, there will be more and more events like this one until the World Cup kicks off.
Over 1 million people voted. This shows that the World Cup in Russia is already popular and has a lot of support. It's absolutely fantastic. It tells me that the tournament can be a great success.
On the pitch, the road to Russia continued as Italy faced Spain in Turin on match day 2 of European qualifying. Following an error in judgment from Italian goalkeeper Gianluigi Buffon, it was the visitors who took the lead through forward Vitolo. It wasn't until the 82nd minute and against the run of play that the hosts had the chance to level matters. Following a foul on Eder by Sergio Ramos, Daniel De Rossi calmly slotted home the penalty to earn Italy a point. With both teams recording victories over Albania and Macedonia respectively on match day 3, Spain top Group G ahead of Italy on goal difference. Elsewhere on match day 2, Azerbaijan continued their unbeaten start to qualifying as they beat Norway in Baku. Defender Maxim Medvedev's 11th minute goal enough to secure all 3 points. Coupled with a goalless draw against Czech Republic on match day 3, it's an impressive start for Azerbaijan, who've yet to concede and sit second in Group C. In Stockholm, Sweden look to continue their good start to qualifying on match day 3 as they faced Bulgaria. Despite having only scored twice in their opening 2 matches, the hosts were in imperious form. Striker Ola Toivonen with the opening goal. Oscar Hildemarke added a second shortly before half-time. before Victor Lindelof made it 3 in the 58th minute to round off a comfortable victory for the Swedes. The win sees Sweden sit joint top of Group A with France, who they play in their next match, and 3 ahead of Netherlands in third. In Group E, Denmark's hopes of qualifying for Russia 2018 were dealt a blow as they lost at home to Montenegro. Fatus Behraj with the game's only goal midway through the first half. Montenegro, who've never qualified for the final since being admitted to FIFA, topped the standings ahead of Poland on goal difference, with Denmark 4th. In round 3 of Asian qualifying, Iran faced Korea Republic. Played at the Azadi Stadium in Tehran, and with many of the fans in attendance wearing black to mark the first of 2 mourning days on the Shia Islam calendar, it was the hosts who took the spoils. Forward Sardar Azmoun with his 16th goal in 22 appearances for Team Melee. The victory sees Iran top Group A, 1 point ahead of Uzbekistan, with Korea Republic 3rd. In Group B, Saudi Arabia met the United Arab Emirates at the King Abdullah Sports City Stadium in Jeddah. Despite making an impressive start to qualifying, the visitors were outplayed by their hosts, Fahad Al Mawalad putting the Saudis ahead in spectacular fashion. 7 minutes later, Nawaf Al Ahmed doubled his team's lead, claiming his 4th goal in as many matches. Before Yahya Al-Shahri wrapped up victory to ensure the UAE's unwanted record of having never beaten the Saudis at home in a competitive fixture remained intact. Following Australia's draw with Japan, the victory sees Saudi Arabia move to the top of the standings, while the UAE remain 4th. Rotary Volgograd is one of southern Russia's most storied clubs. Once a regular of European football in the 1990s, the club has been beset by off-field problems in recent years, but is now on an upward curve. The team currently play in the 3rd tier of Russian football and are on course to achieve back-to-back promotions. In late September, the club made a visit to the Volgograd Stadium, the city's host venue for the FIFA World Cup. The 45,000 capacity arena will host 4 matches and will become Rota's new home following the 2018 tournament.
It is an impressive structure. I visited many stadiums in Europe, and looking at this one, I think it will be among the very best in Europe. It will be one of the most beautiful stadiums.
To be a host city is very important to us, because Volgograd has a rich history. The fans here follow both the team and football in general a lot. I am happy for them, and for myself personally, that our city will host a number of World Cup matches.
The football history here is incredible. Everyone still remembers the game against Manchester United, that they were beaten here in Volgograd. All of this just adds to this history. The stadium will be a great incentive for the younger generation, especially those who wish to play here for Rota. I also think that it will provide football here with a boost. There will be more training pitches and a renewed vigour when it comes to people's attitudes towards the game.
The hope is a state-of-the-art facility will help Rota re-establish itself at the forefront of Russian football.
It certainly inspires us. We have a goal to win promotion to the National Football League and then return to the Premier League. I think for the young guys in the team to play in such a beautiful stadium will be a huge motivation.
At the recent FIFA Futsal World Cup, Russia produced their best ever showing. Three-time semi-finalists, the Russians went one better, eventually finishing runners-up to Argentina, who prevailed in a tightly contested final. The 2016 competition in Colombia proved popular across the globe, but none more so than in Russia, where futsal remains one of the country's most popular sports. MFK Sinara, based in Ekaterinburg, are the most successful futsal club operating outside of Moscow today.
MFK Sinara has all of the attributes and infrastructure of a professional football club. Also, we have the biggest and most devoted fans of the club. It's safe to say Sinara is the best attended club in the country, and has been for many years now. Ekaterinburg is a mecca for football, and one of the cities in Russia where futsal and its structure are most developed. That may be why we attract so many fans to our matches.
Founded in 1992, the club's proudest moment came in 2008, when they won the prestigious UEFA Futsal Cup, beating Spain's El Puzo Murcia in the final. Alongside this trophy are two Russian Futsal Super League titles, in addition to a trophy cabinet full of youth and academy trophies. It is this academy that is the pride of the city, welcoming children of all ages to train with the club in preparation for future success.
I've been in the first team now for 15 years and a part of the club since I was 15 years old. It's safe to say this club is my life. Around 500 children train at our academy. In comparison to the amount of staff who work here, that's a pretty big number. In the world of futsal, we are one of the biggest clubs around. That's not just the first team, it also comprises the reserves and the youth teams too. Our training facilities are busy every day of the week with children of all ages, with tournaments for everyone from the very smallest children to the older ones. Futsal is a very accessible sport, and it's so popular now in Ekaterinburg among children, just as much as professional football.
The club's pride and joy is Oleg Shatov, who I believe is the best Russian player around today. He trained at our academy, beginning as a small child, playing through the age groups before joining FC Ural. From Ural, he made the transition to being a star footballer. He now plays for Zenit and the Russian national team as a representative of our region and our club. We are really proud of this, and it's the best example for all the boys who join our academy and want to achieve success in football. One of the main philosophies at our club stems from our founder. He declared that only players that hail from our region are allowed to join and play for the Sinara Academy. Therefore, only boys from our area can play for us, which makes us like the Russian version of Athletic Bilbao. So, if only Basque players can play for Athletic Bilbao, only boys from the Ural region can play for us. Lads with the Ural spirit.
In June of this year, Moscow played host to the launch of the official 2018 FIFA World Cup Volunteers programme. Welcomed in by Russian President Vladimir Putin and FIFA President Gianni Infantino, the event launched a process that will see thousands of applicants vying for the chance to work at the tournament. It also introduced some of the individual host cities and their own volunteering programmes. In Ekaterinburg, over 5,000 applications have already been received for participation in 2018. At the city's Ural Federal University, prospective volunteers are being trained up in preparation.
We started getting involved with volunteering at the university in 2005. Back then, the majority of events were of a social nature, working with orphanages, veterans, things like that. Now the volunteers from our centre have worked on over 500 different events, both sporting and cultural, and of both regional and international importance. Our primary goal at the centre is volunteer training. We understand that it's not just about the desire to be a volunteer, it's also necessary to have a certain level of competency in order to help the organisation of key events to a high standard. At our training, we don't just have volunteers, we also have our future, the guys who will soon be our leaders and managers. They will be in charge of managing small groups of volunteers at the World Cup.
With over 30% of applications to volunteer at the 2018 FIFA World Cup having been received from outside of Russia and no age limit on applicants, training centres like the one in Ekaterinburg are essential in ensuring success.
Today was an introductory session at training, the main objective of which was to provide all of the guys with some important information, but more importantly, to motivate them to study English. The training was really great. The guys who at the beginning were intimidated by the idea of communicating in English and expressing their points of view, by the end were free and comfortable. You could also tell they were really fired up about learning the language too. And I think in 2018, when they meet foreign guests or media, they won't have any problems.
I think the volunteer programme of any large international event, including the World Cup, accounts for more than 50% of the event's success, because a volunteer is the face of the event. There's already a feeling of patriotism, not just from me personally, but from all of our volunteers, and the people of the city who perhaps don't yet understand how huge this event is. We are all aware, though, that something unbelievable awaits us in 2018.
I started playing football with other boys in my hometown when I was 7 years old, and even then it was clear to me it was my thing. Growing up, I used to follow the fortunes of Andrei Shevchenko. He was a striker who I admired. He had pace, he could dribble, I followed all his games.
FC Ural star striker Roman Pavlyuchenko is one of 21st century Russian football's biggest names. The now 34-year-old hails from Mostovsky in southern Russia. He began his career in 1998 at Dynamo Stavropol before moving to Rotary Volgograd, but it was with Moscow giant Spartak where he really made a name for himself.
I spent 6 years at Spartak, and for that whole time I was the best striker in the team. I won the top goal-scoring award in the Russian Premier League twice. It was a good time for me as I was very successful at doing what I needed to do, which was to score goals.
69 goals in 141 appearances not only brought him personal success and the admiration of the Spartak fans, but it also attracted the attention of English Premier League club Tottenham Hotspur.
I think every player dreams of playing in Europe, about playing in England, Spain or Italy. I was very lucky to have that opportunity. It wasn't an easy transfer because I actually declined the offer twice. I was fearful, not for myself or how I would play, but for my family and how they would find it there. I knew the language barrier could be an issue. However, I was convinced later that it would be okay. And if I could turn down playing in the English Premier League, why was I playing football at all? Now that time has passed, I look back and think, why did I think I could reject the move? Tottenham is a great club. One of the stories I like telling is about watching Gareth Bale develop. When I joined, he wasn't even part of the main squad. He was very slight, but after 10 or 12 games, he just shot up. Myself and the guys were just looking at him, and we were in shock. He was growing every day as a player, becoming stronger and faster. Nowadays, I would say he is a major part of any team he plays for, both for Wales and for Real Madrid, who are one of the best clubs in the world. I was fortunate enough to play with him. Bale is not just a football player, he is a football machine.
Pavlyuchenko spent 3.5 years in London before returning to Russia with Lokomotiv Moscow in 2012. He arrived in Ekaterinburg in 2016 via Kubin Krasnodar, following 3 years in the Russian capital.
I have the opportunity here to play regularly and to score. As I mentioned before, as a striker, that is my job. FC Ural is a new challenge, one that comes with a new set of emotions.
Pavlyuchenko represented his country 51 times over 10 years before retiring from international duty in 2013. Despite never having the opportunity to play at the FIFA World Cup finals, he's one of a handful of Russian players to have played overseas and is well placed to see how the 2018 tournament can help the development of the game in his homeland.
Football here still has a long way to go when compared to the game in England. What I saw there was an approach to the sport that encompasses everything, both on and off the pitch. However, I believe we are on the right path. We will host the World Cup in 2018. Stadiums are being built, and there is a drive to develop football at a grassroots level. I think because of this, in 5 to 10 years, we will be developing in the same way as Spain and England.
A mainstay of the Russian game for the last 18 years, Roman Pavlyuchenko will always be remembered fondly by fans as he sees out his playing days with FC Ural.